Hi everybody. In this class, we are going to discuss some concepts about time and work. When I say about this time and work, in bank exams, most number of questions are from this time and work. However, there are only few concepts to know, and if you know these few concepts, you can master in time and work and get more marks in the bank exams. Well, if I want to give some, gyan about time and work, I just want to say about 2 points, right? The first point is, whenever you see some question in time and work, the first thing is you have to visualize the things, right? For example, if I say A does a piece of work in 10 days, it means I have to visualize that A is doing that work in 10 days. If I just see that as a text, it is quite hard to solve this time and work problem. The second thing is that you have to calculate the equal amount of work in equal intervals of time. You cannot just, for example, I can say I have to travel 2000 kilometers in 10 days. I cannot say 1000 kilometers in the first day and the remaining 9 days 1000 kilometers. I cannot divide like this. In order to make the problems easy, what I have to do is each day I am traveling 200 kilometers. So it means in 10 days I will be traveling 2000 kilometers. So what I am doing here is equal amount of work in equal intervals of time. To understand time and work better, let's solve some problems, and through problems I'll explain you some concepts. Okay, let us see this first problem. A can do a piece of work in 30 days. B can do the same piece of work in 20 days. If they work together, find in how many days the same work will get finished, right? So the question is, A can do a piece of work in 30 days. B can do the same piece of work in 20 days. If they work together, find the number of days in which the work gets completed, right? Now I'll teach you two methods to solve this problem. This is a very basic problem in time and work. In bank exams, you may get questions like this as well as slightly complicated level, but always in any topic, basic is important. So if you understand this, time and work is nothing. You can solve it very easily. Alright. Now, as I said, I have two methods to solve this question. The first one is the conventional way, right? Most of the people know this conventional way already, which is using fractions. So solving this, A can do a piece of work in 30 days, B can do the same piece of work in 20 days. So if A finishes the whole work in 30 days, in one day, A will finish 1/30th of the work. Am I right? So the net work done by A in one day will be 1/30. So what will be the work done by B in one day? It is 1/20. Fantastic. Simple, right? Now, if I say A and B are working together, the work done by A and B in one day will be 1/30 plus 1/20. Got it? Right. Now the next point. 1/30 plus 1/20, I have to solve it. So I'll go for this LCM, which is 60. So 2 plus 3, 5/60, which is 1/12. So one day's work of A and B will be 1/12. Now, understanding here, A does a piece of work in 30 days, on one day 1/30. So what is the complete work? That is, what is the total work here? The total work is nothing but 1. So if I have to complete the total work, and if A and B works together, A and B can complete 1/12 in one day. So to complete this total work, it will be 1/1/12. So the answer will be 12 days. Basically very simple. After reaching this point, take the reciprocal, you will get the answer. So a very simple problem using this conventional method, I got the answer is 12 days. Alright. Now let's get into the next level problem and check how this conventional method works, and later we'll explain the second method what I was telling about. Now let's solve one more problem using conventional method. The question goes like this. A does a piece of work in 12 days, B does the same piece of work in 15 days, and C does the same piece of work in 30 days. A starts the work and B joins him after 3 days. 3 days before the work is completed, A leaves and C joins the work. Find in how many days the work will be completed. Now let's solve this question. So the question is, A can do a piece of work in 12 days, B can do the same piece of work in 15 days, and C can do the same piece of work in 30 days. Now, what is the first step? I have to find 1 day's work of A, which is 1 by 12, 1 day's work of B, 1 by 15, and 1 day's work of C, which is 1 by 30. Right. Now, the question is little bit complicated compared to the first question. First question was very simple. How many days will A and B take together to complete the work? But here, the question says that A comes, B goes, something like that, right? So, watching this question once again, A starts the work and B joins him after 3 days. So it means that first 3 days only A will be working. So 1 day's work of A will be 1 by 12. So for 3 days it is 1 by 12 into 3. Plus what happens after 3 days? B joins A. So it will be 1 by 12 plus 1 by 15. For how many days A and B are working? Did they mention in this question? Watch carefully. No, they did not mention how many days A and B are working together. So what I'll do is I'll just put it as X because I don't know. Now what happens in the last 3 days? 3 days before the work is completed, A leaves and C joins the work. So B will be there 1 by 15 plus C is joining the work, which is 1 by 30, and it is for last 3 days, right? So what will be the total work? Total work is nothing but 1. Now I have to solve this equation. So let's solve it. 1 by 4. So which will be 1 by 4 plus 3 by 20x plus 3 by 10 is equal to 1. Taking the LCM as 20. So which will be 5 plus 3x plus 6 is equal to 1. So 3x is equal to 20 minus 11, so which is 9. So x is equal to 3. So I found that x is nothing but 3. So what is this x? The number of days A and B work together. So in how many days the work is getting completed? The first 3 days, in between 3 days, the last 3 days. The answer is 9 days. Now, for a question, you know bank exams, there will be lot of questions, 200 questions, and you have to solve it in very limited time. Do you really get time to solve this kind of questions in each and every step? Does step marks matter? Not really. It's not your mathematics exam in your 12th standard where they don't give step marks. Very important to understand. You have to get the answer. I don't bother in which way I go. I have to get the answer. So what I'm trying to tell you now is conventional method is good, but there are some other methods for this kind of problems which will save your time. So you have to concentrate on that method. Now let's go back to the first question we solved already. You remember the first question? A did a piece of work in 30 days, B does the same piece of work in 20 days. Find out how many days A and B will work together to complete the work. Now let's go to the problem and understand how the shortcut method works here. Now let's go to the first question and check how shortcut method works for this kind of time and work problems, right? You remember conventional method where we have to find 1 day's work and deal with the fractions and equations and get the answer. Now let's check how this kind of shortcut method works for this kind of questions, right? Now let me ask two questions. You remember the first question, right? A does a piece of work in 30 days, B does the same piece of work in 20 days. Find out how many days the work will be completed if they work together. That is the first question, we solved it earlier. Now, look at this question carefully. I'll ask two questions. Try to answer these two questions. The first question, are these people doing the same work? Are these people doing the same work? Yes, absolutely, because A does a piece of work in 30 days, B does the same piece of work in 20 days. So first question answer is, they both are doing the same work. Okay, my second question, did they mention any work in the question? Say for example, constructing buildings, laying roads, etc. No, they did not mention any work. They said work, same work, etc. They did not mention any work. So for these two questions, I got some two answers. The answer is, these both are doing the same work and they did not mention any work. So what can I do? My thought process says that I can assume some work to make this problem simple, right? Now let me assume some work. Say assumption. Immediately when I say about this word assumption, you will think about the number 100, because usually in school you know assume it as 100 and solve the problems. Okay. Now let me assume it as say 100 chocolates. So 1800 chocolates is the work now, right? Now A can complete 100 chocolates in 30 days. So it means he can eat 100 by 30 chocolates per day. Am I right? Yes. B can complete 100 chocolates in 20 days. It means he can complete 100 by 20 chocolates per day, which is nothing but 5 chocolates per day, right? Now, we have to solve this question to get the answer. Now let me ask a question. Why did we find the conventional way slightly difficult is that because we used lot of fractions. We encountered lot of fractions. So my ultimate aim is to avoid fractions, right? So I have to avoid fractions, so that's why I came for this assumption method. But still, if you watch closely, there is a fraction here. Now, if you think why I encountered fractions here, the answer is very simple. Because this 100 is not divisible by this 30. So, I have just assumed, I can assume any number, right? I can assume 1000 or I can assume any number. So, what will I do to make this part an integer? I should assume a number in such a way that it should be a multiple of this two numbers. Am I right? So, if this number is a multiple of these two numbers, this place will definitely not be a fraction. So, what I'll do is, I'll try to assume a multiple of 30 and 20 to make this problem simple. So, I'll assume it as, say, 600 chocolates. Now, A will finish 20 chocolates per day because he will finish that 600 chocolates in 30 days. And B will finish 30 chocolates per day because he will finish 600 chocolates in 20 days. So, together they will be finishing 50 chocolates in one day. So, to finish the 600 chocolates, they will be taking 12 days to complete the work. Very simple. I did not use any fraction or equation here. I just visualized the problem just by chocolates and I got the answer in just one step, right? I hope you guys understood this problem. Now, how to make this problem even more simple is that I should assume some small number, right? Smaller multiple. So, in a jargon, if I want to say a smaller multiple, how can I say? I can call it as a least common multiple. So, which is nothing but the LCM. So, let me take the LCM and try solving this problem. So, LCM of 30 and 20 is nothing but 60. So, I'll assume the total work to be 60 chocolates, right? So, A will eat 2 chocolates per day. B will eat 3 chocolates per day. Together, they'll eat 5 chocolates per day. So 60 by 5. To complete the 60 chocolates, they too will take 12 days. Isn't it simple? Definitely it is very simple. But you can actually get me saying that this was actually simple in conventional method itself, right? So why should I go to this chocolates, assume and work? But you found that conventional method was difficult in the second problem we saw. That A comes, C comes, B goes, that kind of problems. If people are coming and going. How this chocolate method will, I can call it as chocolate method, right? How this chocolate method will work for that kind of questions, right? Now let me go to the second question now. I hope you guys are clear with this chocolate method. Anyways, I'll summarize it later, but let's go to the second question and I'll try to convince you why this chocolate method is actually the best method to solve this kind of problems, right? So second question says that A will do a piece of work in 12 days. B does the same piece of work in 15 days and C does the same piece of work in 30 days. Right? A starts the work and B joins him after 3 days. 3 days before the work is completed, A leaves and C joins the work. Find in how many days the work is completed. Right. Now let's go to this chocolate method and check how to solve this question. So what is the first step I told in this chocolate method? I have to take the LCM. I have to take the LCM of these three numbers. So what is the LCM of 12, 15 and 30? It is nothing but 60. So I'll assume the total work to be 60 chocolates. So this will be the total work, 60 chocolates, right? So A will finish 5 chocolates per day, B will finish 4 chocolates per day, C will finish 2 chocolates per day. Am I right? Yes. So together they will be eating 11 chocolates per day. But I believe this together is not really necessary because they are not working together anywhere. Why? Because when I draw this timeline, A starts the work, right? A starts the work. Say this is the starting day of the work. A starts the work. After 3 days, so it means after 3 days, B joins. So it means A plus B will be working here, right? After 3 days, A joins, that is B joins A. And I don't know how many days A and B are working together. So I'll leave this block, right? Now, the later statement says that 3 days before the completion of work, say I'll consider this to be the end date of the work. So 3 days before the completion of work, what they are saying is A is leaving and C is joining the work. So definitely B will be there because B is already there. So A leaves and C joins the work, right? Now you can see nowhere this ABC is working together. So this data is not really necessary to solve this problem. Now let's take this data and try to solve this problem simpler. So A works for the first 3 days. How many chocolates does A eat in a day? A eats 5 chocolates per day. So A will finish 15 chocolates here because 5 into 3, 15 chocolates. So out of 60, first 3 days itself 15 chocolates are over. Now because I don't know how many days they are working together, I'll leave this block, I'll go to the last block. B and C works for the last 3 days. So B and C will eat 6 chocolates per day, 4 plus 2, 6. So last 3 days, 6 chocolates per day. So it means they'll finish 18 chocolates. Am I right? Yes. So 15 chocolates, 18 chocolates over out of 60 chocolates. So how many chocolates are remaining? 60 minus 15 minus 18, which is 27 chocolates. Now will someone eat the 27 chocolates before this? No. Will someone eat the 27 chocolates after this? No. So who will eat this 27 chocolates? Definitely this A and B. So A and B should eat this 27 chocolates. I know A and B together can eat 9 chocolates per day. Am I right? A and B together can eat 9 chocolates per day. So to finish this 27 chocolates, 27 by 9, A and B will take 3 days. Simple. So answer for this question is first 3 days, in between 3 days, the last 3 days, and the answer for this question will be 9 days. Now because I'm explaining this question, it takes a lot of time. But actually it takes lesser time than the conventional method. So what I'm trying to make you understand is that conventional way is better, but when you follow this kind of assumption and assuming visualization, etc., the problem becomes simple. The problem becomes simple and you can get the answer without doing any mistake. So I'll summarize it now. The chocolate method is very simple. First take the LCM. First step, take the LCM of these 3 numbers. Second step, find the efficiency of the people who are working. And third step, according to the question, try to solve the questions here, right? So let's solve more problems later. In the last chapter, we have solved some problems on working with different efficiency. So I'm trying to connect the last concept with this pipes and cisterns to make you understand better. Right. Now what is pipes? Pipes, it's a very simple question. Pipes which carries liquid, right? There are 2 kinds of pipes which we see in this kind of problems. Inlet pipe and outlet pipe. What is an inlet pipe? Inlet pipes are the pipes which is used to fill the tank. Outlet pipes obviously empty the tank. And there is another jargon we use which is called a cistern. Cistern is just a fancy name for a tank or a container, right? Okay. Now, it's better to explain with a problem so that you understand better. Now, let me give a problem based on these pipes and cisterns. Say, there is a pipe A which can fill a tank in 10 minutes. There is a pipe A which can fill the tank in 10 minutes. And there is a pipe B which can fill the same tank in 20 minutes. If both the pipes are open together, find at what time they will fill the tank. Right, let's try to solve this problem. Now, before solving, I just wanted to ask you something. Do you remember the first question what I asked in the previous chapter? A can do a piece of work in 30 days, B can do it in 20 days. Can you find the similarity between these 2 problems? Yes, absolutely. Both are same kind of problems. There we took some work. Here the work is filling the tank, right? So first step for this pipes and cisterns is again taking LCM. So I'll take the LCM of these two numbers, which is 10 and 20, and I'll assume it as the capacity of the tank. So LCM of 10 and 20 will be 20 liters. So the capacity, I'm assuming it to be liters. So 20 liters. Pipe A takes 10 minutes to fill this 20 liters. It means in 1 minute, pipe A will fill 2 liters and pipe B will fill 1 liter. Right? So if A and B are working together, both the pipe will fill 3 liters per minute. So to fill 20 liters, both the pipes will take 20 by 3 minutes, which will be your answer. So very simple problem, right? If you use the same chocolate method, here I cannot say it as chocolate method because we are using liters, but it is kind of the same like chocolate method, where you take the LCM of these numbers given and find the efficiency of these pipes and work according to the question. Now there will be some other kind of question like emptying and all, right? So what to do when there is a word called as emptying or leaking? Say for example, I'm changing the question as pipe A can fill the tank in 10 minutes, pipe B can empty the same tank in 20 minutes. If both the pipes are open together, find at what time the tank get filled, right? Again, as I said earlier, whatever may be the problem, the first step will always remain the same. So what is the first step? Exactly, take the LCM of the given number, which is 10 and 20. So the capacity of the tank, I'm assuming it to be 20 liters. So pipe A will fill 2 liters per minute and pipe B will empty 1 liter per minute. So since this is a negative work, so obviously emptying is a negative work, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to introduce a negative sign here. So very simple, if there is a word called as emptying, leaking, outlet, so what you have to do is you have to introduce a negative sign in the efficiency column, right? So when both the pipes are open together, what will be the efficiency, joint efficiency? It will be 1 liter per minute. So pipe A can fill 2 liters per minute, pipe B will empty 1 liter per minute. So together if we put, it will be 1 liter per minute. So to fill 20 liters, both the pipes will take 20 minutes. So very simple. If you understand chocolate method better, if you practice more problems in chocolate method, pipes and systems is just a cakewalk for you, right? So you can solve two concepts using one single method. See, here also I can solve it using the fractions, but chocolate method is always better. So try to understand. First step, take the LCM. Second step, find the efficiency. Third step, according to the question, you have to work. If you practice more problems in chocolate method, it will be the best method to solve these kind of problems. If you don't practice this chocolate method, then you might feel difficult to take this kind of methods because you might be good in the conventional method itself already. So try to practice more problems in this. This will save a lot of time because that is the absolute necessary thing when you go for the banking.